Right now, in May 2026, three significant developments are converging at the Social Security Administration simultaneously. Together, they are creating one of the most difficult and disruptive periods for American seniors, disabled individuals, and veterans in the agency's entire nine-decade history. Official SSA documents, Federal Register updates, and detailed information published directly on SSA.gov have all been thoroughly reviewed so you would not have to do it yourself. Everything shared here comes directly from verified government sources. No rumors, no speculation, only the facts you need to protect yourself and the people you care about. Before we get into the details, drop a comment below with your city and state. Tracking how these changes are affecting different communities across America is an ongoing effort, and your comment genuinely contributes to that. Now let us get into it. If you currently collect Social Security retirement benefits, supplemental security income, Social Security disability insurance, or VA benefits, or if you know someone who does, what is unfolding right now at the SSA deserves your complete and undivided attention. The first major change, the overpayment. Clawback policy has been drastically tightened. This is the development generating the most widespread fear and confusion among beneficiaries right now, and it deserves a careful and thorough explanation. In March 2024, under the previous administration, the SSA reduced the default overpayment withholding rate to just 10% of a beneficiary's monthly payment. That meant if the government determined it had paid you more than you were legally owed, whether through its own calculation error or a change in your circumstances, it could only recover that money by withholding 10 cents out of every dollar you received each month. For millions of Americans living on fixed and limited incomes, that recovery rate was manageable. It did not cause immediate financial devastation. Then on March 7, 2025, the SSA announced it was reversing that policy entirely. The new default withholding rate jumped all the way back to 100%. That meant the agency could withhold your entire monthly benefit payment until the full overpayment amount was completely recovered. Your entire check gone, even when the error was not your fault and you had done absolutely nothing wrong. The SSA's own acting commissioner stated the change was about being responsible stewards of the trust funds. The agency estimated the move would recover approximately $7 billion over the following decade, but the public reaction was immediate and intense. Advocacy organizations, elected officials, and legal experts across the country described the policy as devastating and cruel to vulnerable populations. After enormous and sustained public pressure, the SSA adjusted the rate once more. As of April 25, 2025, the default overpayment withholding rate for Title II benefits, which include retirement, survivors, and disability insurance was set at 50%. That is precisely where it stands today in May 2026. If you receive an overpayment notice and do not take any action within 90 days, the SSA will automatically begin withholding half of your monthly benefit until the complete amount has been recovered. Half your check gone automatically, with no additional warning whatsoever. Here is the part that should genuinely concern every person reading this. The SSA's own Office of the Inspector General found in one review that approximately 73,000 overpayments during a single period were caused entirely by errors in the SSA's own benefit calculations, not by beneficiaries committing fraud, not by people deliberately deceiving the system. Government errors. Between fiscal years 2015 and 2022, the Inspector General reported that the SSA made nearly $72 billion in improper payments, the vast majority of which were overpayments. These are the agency's own documented numbers. Yet when those government errors result in overpayment notices being sent out, it is the beneficiary, the person who did absolutely nothing wrong, who faces a 50% reduction in monthly income while the debt is clawed back. There is one critical exception worth knowing clearly. SSI recipients are specifically protected from this higher rate. The overpayment withholding rate for supplemental security income remains capped at 10%. That has not changed under the new policy, But for everyone receiving retirement, survivors, or disability benefits under Title II, the 50% withholding rate is the current operational reality. The second major change? The SSA is losing staff at an unprecedented rate. The agency is hemorrhaging experienced employees at a pace that has no precedent in its history. According to data analyzed by the Center for American Progress using Office of Personnel Management records covering January 2025 through November 2025, the SSA lost approximately 6,645 employees during that period. That represents a decrease of more than 11% of the agency's total workforce compared to the end of fiscal year 2024. Some reports have placed total losses even higher, with certain estimates suggesting the number reached approximately 7,000 by the close of 2025. In 33 states, the SSA had at least 10% fewer staff members in fiscal year 2025 than in fiscal year 2024. Some states experienced far more severe losses. Wyoming lost 19% of its Social Security workforce. Missouri and Wisconsin each saw their SSA staff shrink by roughly 14%. The impact on customer service has been severe and measurable. In a survey of SSA employees conducted in late December 2025 and early January 2026, 65% reported that service quality had declined during the previous 12 months. 70% stated that service speed had gotten worse. The staff members who answer the phones when you call the national number, who process your claims, update your records, and handle your appeals, those are exactly the people being lost. Fewer staff means longer wait times. Longer wait times mean more processing delays. More processing delays create more errors, and more errors lead directly to more overpayment notices and more clawbacks. It is a damaging and self-reinforcing cycle, and beneficiaries are the ones caught squarely in the middle of it. Internal documents obtained by Federal News Network revealed that the SSA has set an internal goal to cut field office visits by 50% in fiscal year 2026 compared to fiscal year 2025. That represents a reduction of more than 15 million in-person service visits. The agency is not expanding digital services sufficiently to compensate for this reduction. It is simply planning for fewer people being served overall. On March 7, 2026, the SSA rolled out two new nationwide administrative systems, the National Appointment Scheduling Calendar and the National Workload Management System. These systems replaced locally managed office scheduling by centralizing the entire process at the national level. While the stated goal is improved operational efficiency, early reports from beneficiaries and advocates indicate that the transition has caused significant confusion and difficulty for people attempting to obtain appointments, particularly those living in geographically isolated and rural communities. The third change: full retirement age has officially reached 67. This third development has been decades in development, but is now reaching its final implementation milestone. Starting in 2026, the full retirement age officially reaches 67 for everyone born in 1960 or later. This is the completion of a gradual adjustment that Congress set in motion back in 1983. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is now 67. If you claim benefits before reaching that age, your monthly payment is permanently reduced for the remainder of your life. If you claim at 62, the earliest age allowed, your benefit is reduced by 30% compared to what you would receive by waiting until 67. This is not a brand new policy change, but understanding it fully is absolutely essential because it directly affects your planning strategy, your monthly payment amount, and your total lifetime income from Social Security. The national numbers: understanding the true scale. The SSA currently pays out nearly $1.4 trillion in benefits annually to approximately 73 million Americans. The average monthly retirement benefit as of early 2026 is approximately $1,971, reflecting the 2.5% cost of living adjustment that took effect in January 2026. That COLA added roughly $50 per month to the average retiree's check. That sounds like meaningful progress until you look at the other side of the equation. The standard Medicare Part B premium for 2026 is $185 per month, an increase of $10.30 from 2025. For the majority of beneficiaries, that premium is deducted directly from the Social Security payment before it arrives. That means nearly a third of the entire COLA increase is immediately consumed before you see a single dollar of it in your account. In an AARP survey, 77% of older adults stated that even a 3% COLA would not be sufficient to keep pace with their actual everyday living costs. The 2026 COLA landed at 2.5%. The state-by-state impact, communities being hit hardest. The consequences of these changes are not falling uniformly across the country. Some communities are being hit far harder than others. Georgia has experienced the highest number of SSA office closures of any state in the nation. 5 field offices have been permanently closed in Brunswick, Columbus, Gainesville, Thomasville, and Vidalia. A senior senator representing Georgia warned that seniors in rural areas who cannot drive long distances, who have disabilities, or who lack reliable internet access are being effectively cut off from their benefits entirely. New York saw the White Plains SSA hearing office close, requiring some residents to travel up to 135 miles to reach the nearest alternative location. The state attorney general formally wrote to the SSA demanding the closure be reconsidered. A Republican representative described it as an insult to his constituents who depend on those services. Florida, a state with one of the highest concentrations of retirees in the entire nation, has seen the Fort Walton Beach SSA office limited to phone-only service with no in-person appointments available to the public. Reducing a field office to phone-only operations creates a substantial barrier for an older population that may not be comfortable navigating complex automated phone systems or digital platforms. Alaska has seen beneficiaries in geographically isolated areas report significant difficulty obtaining timely appointments through the new centralized national scheduling system, a system that appears to have been designed primarily with the contiguous 48 states in mind. Texas, which has one of the fastest-growing senior populations in the country, is seeing residents calling the national 800 number experience extended hold times as the reduced workforce struggles to keep pace with call volume that has not diminished. Some genuinely positive news for certain states. West Virginia completed its full phase-out of state income tax on Social Security benefits beginning in 2026. As of this year, Social Security income is 100% exempt on West Virginia state tax returns, regardless of income level. Minnesota offers a full state tax exemption on Social Security for individuals with an adjusted gross income up to approximately $84,000, and for married couples filing jointly up to approximately $108,000. Colorado also provides meaningful exemptions for certain age and income groups. And if you live in one of the 41 states that currently impose no state income tax on Social Security benefits at all, you are in a comparatively stronger financial position than many of your fellow Americans. Additional numbers. Every beneficiary needs to know. If you are under full retirement age and still working while simultaneously collecting Social Security, the SSA applies what is known as the earnings test. In 2026, the agency withholds $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn, above $22,320 per year. To make that concrete, if you earned $40,000 from a part-time job, your benefits would be reduced by approximately $8,840 for that year. Once you reach full retirement age, the earnings test disappears entirely, and your benefits are recalculated upward to account for previous withholding. But until that milestone, accurate and timely reporting of your earnings is absolutely essential. For SSDI recipients, the substantial gainful activity threshold in 2026 is $1,550 per month, a $70 increase from 2025 levels. If you earn above that amount on a sustained and consistent basis, you risk losing your disability benefits entirely. The average SSDI payment in 2026 falls in the mid $1,600 range per month. Many disability recipients have no other source of income whatsoever. A 50% overpayment clawback applied to a payment of that size could mean the difference between maintaining housing and losing it. For veterans who also receive Social Security benefits, whether retirement, SSDI, or SSI, any changes in VA compensation can create immediate reporting requirements with the SSA. If your combined income shifts and you do not report it promptly, even accidentally, you could trigger an overpayment determination that leads to benefit withholding. If you receive both VA and SSA benefits, ensure your income information is current and accurate on both agency portals at all times without exception. Exactly how the overpayment and clawback process works, step by step. Let me walk through this precisely so you are not caught off guard if it happens to you. First, the SSA determines, sometimes years after the original payments were issued, that you received more than you were legally owed. They then send you a formal overpayment notice by mail. From the date printed on that notice, you have 90 days to take action of some kind. You have 3 distinct options available to you. Option 1. File a reconsideration, meaning you are formally disputing the SSA's determination that you were overpaid in the first place. Option 2. Request a reduced withholding rate if the 50% rate would cause you severe financial hardship, and you can document that hardship in writing. Option 3. Apply for a complete waiver of the entire debt using SSA Form SSA-632-BK, which is available directly on ssa.gov. To qualify for a waiver, you generally need to demonstrate 2 things: that the overpayment was not your fault, and that requiring repayment would deprive you of money needed for ordinary and necessary living expenses, food, housing, utilities, and medical care. If you do nothing, if you allow that notice to sit unopened, if you miss the 90-day response window, the SSA will automatically begin withholding 50% of your monthly benefit with no additional warning and no extension of time. No second notice, no phone call. Half your check simply disappears until the entire balance is recovered. What you need to do right now. 6 specific actions. First, log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov immediately. If you do not yet have an account, create one today. This is where overpayment notices are posted electronically. This is where your complete benefit information lives and is updated in real time. Check it at minimum once per month. If you have a family member who is less comfortable with technology or online navigation, sit down with them and help them set up their account. Do not wait until a crisis is already underway. Second, open every single piece of mail from the SSA the moment it arrives. Do not set SSA correspondence aside to deal with later. Do not allow letters to accumulate unopened. Every letter carries a specific deadline, typically 60 or 90 days from the date printed on the letter. That clock begins on the date the letter was written, not the day you finally open it. If you receive an overpayment notice, your response window has already started ticking from the moment that letter was dated, regardless of when you read it. Third, know your rights in complete detail. If you receive an overpayment notice, you have the legal right to file for reconsideration and formally dispute the determination. You have the legal right to request a reduced withholding rate based on documented financial hardship. You have the legal right to file for a complete debt waiver using Form SSA-632-BK. These options are written into federal law. They are your rights. Use them without hesitation and without apology. Fourth, report any changes in your income, household composition, or living situation to the SSA immediately when they occur. Whether it is a new part-time job, a change in VA compensation, a death in the household, or a change in your living arrangements, report it right away. The longer any discrepancy goes unreported, the larger a potential overpayment balance can grow before it is discovered. Proactive and timely reporting is your single most effective defense against a future clawback situation. Fifth, locate your nearest open SSA field office right now. Before you find yourself in an urgent situation that requires a visit, use the SSA Office Locator tool available at ssa.gov. Write down the complete address, the phone number, and the current appointment process for that office. Many offices now require appointments to be made in advance. With offices closing and hours being reduced across the country, knowing exactly where to go and precisely how to schedule an appointment before an emergency arrives is critically important. Sixth, if you are already struggling financially right now, if your check has already been reduced or significantly delayed, reach out immediately for available help. Contact your local area agency on aging. Call your city or county social services department. Dial 211 to connect with local assistance resources in your community. Food banks, emergency utility assistance programs, emergency rental assistance funds. These programs exist in most communities. You do not have to navigate this situation alone or without support. A direct word to you. If you are reading this and feeling worried or anxious, that is a completely rational and understandable response. What is happening at the Social Security Administration right now is real. It is thoroughly documented by the agency's own official data, and it is genuinely serious. The overpayment clawback rate increased fivefold in a matter of months. Thousands of experienced employees have departed the agency. Offices are closing in communities across the country. Processing wait times are growing longer. Administrative errors are increasing in frequency. And tens of millions of Americans depend on these benefits simply to get through each day. But I also need you to hear this clearly. You are not alone in facing this. None of this is your fault. You paid into this system for decades of your working life. You contributed faithfully, year after year, paycheck after paycheck. These benefits belong to you. You earned every dollar of them. There are organizations actively fighting on your behalf right now. AARP, the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, Justice in Aging, the Alliance for Retired Americans, attorneys general from multiple states, and lawmakers on both sides of the political aisle who are pushing back forcefully against these policies and demanding full accountability from the SSA. There are people fighting in your corner. The commitment here is simple and unwavering, continuing to bring you verified, sourced facts, not the unconfirmed rumors circulating on social media, not exaggerated claims designed to frighten you into clicking. The real, confirmed information drawn from official government sources, information that empowers you to take concrete, meaningful action and protect what you have rightfully earned. If this helped you today, hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps this information reach more people who genuinely need it before it is too late. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update when it matters most. The next video will walk you through step-by-step exactly how to file an overpayment waiver using Form SSA-632-BK, including the specific language to use and the documentation that gives your request the strongest possible chance of having the debt waived entirely. Stay informed, stay strong, and subscribe to Senior USA Hub for more content that keeps you protected and prepared.